Brian Gutekunst was quoted as saying, I think it's safe to say that the Packers are going to be making some sort of splash, whether through the draft or free agency. What am I talking about? I'm going to break that down in this video, guys. If it's your first time listening, welcome to the channel. Don't even subscribe yet. Wait a video or two. If you like the content, then hit that subscribe button. Let's jump into it. What was Brian Gutekunst quoted as saying? He says, in regards to this year's draft capital, that gives us a little bit of flexibility, whether it's moving around within the draft or if there's a player out there, a veteran player that is available, that could be a possibility as well. With some of the things we've done in the past, we've set ourselves up this year to have some flexibility and momentum going into this year's 2024 draft. That's super exciting for me. Let's also take a listen as to what he was quoted as, in this interview with Larry McCarron. What did he have to say in regards to this year's draft?
Week at the combine is a very important part for us to see, what is out there, and do we feel these guys can come in and play right away as rookies? And then as our defensive staff gets together and continues to work through their process of getting to know our team, and particularly the free agent class, we'll kind of look to see how we're going to piece that together. But there's great opportunity there. We have some young players we're excited about coming back. So we'll see how that all shakes out.
Do you expect to be a player, an active player in the free agency market?
I do, and I think we are every year. There's good players in this free agency class. Certainly, we're going to be in the mix in some of those things. Part of coming through the combine is finding out some of that stuff, not only with the free agent class, but also the draft class, and looking at it kind of holistically and saying, okay, what is the best route for the Green Bay Packers?
How does the free agent market and this draft class match up with where on your team you're anticipating needing help? How does it match up?
I think pretty solidly. And again, we're in the beginning stages, but I think pretty solidly. I think for me, it's just really about trying to find the best overall football players. Certainly, there's only so many difference makers in the National Football League, so if you have a chance to acquire a difference maker, regardless of position, you're going to be, in that market. To me, it's more about what kind of quality players and people can we bring to our locker room to create the healthy competition we need for our team to move forward.
Love it. And when he's talking about looking for that difference maker out there, I love that. Brian Gutekunst isn't just looking for that good or even talented player, but he is wanting that game changer, that difference maker, like you talked about, guys that have speed, guys that have talent, like, your Jaden Reeds, your Tyreek Hills, your Debo Samuels, your Luke Musgraves, even guys that can create some separation, some disruption for any defense out there, making it difficult for any defense to contain, to game scheme, game plan against a talented offensive guy, a talented offensive player like that, or even on the defensive side of the ball, making it tough for offenses to even do anything against, that guy, right? That special talent of a guy, whether it's an edge rusher, somebody that's just going to get in there, disrupt the game, disrupt the quarterback, force, like a Jared Goff, okay, he's within our division, force him to make a quick throw, because we know that if Jared Goff is forced to make a quick throw, he's making mistakes out there, so expect the Packers to be making a splash of some kind, especially with what Brian Gutekunst had to say, with 5 picks in the top 100. Okay, the Packers are, like he said, that's ammunition for 2024. That's going to be, we're going to use that to the best of our ability, whether it's we feel we've got the best guy on the board that we want on our team, that was going to be that difference maker, like he was talking about, not just a talented player, but a difference maker. Then they're going to go and draft that. Otherwise, I can safely say I think we can expect Brian Gutekunst to be either, doing something within this draft, whether it's to trade some draft capital to get that player or two out there. That's typically not Brian Gutekunst's MO. We all know that. And a lot of people might be like, you know what? I'm tuning you out already, because Brian Gutekunst doesn't do that. But he has said enough this year that has made me and other Packer fans out there believe that this is going to be something different. He's looking to do something disruptive and different. We know that the Super Bowl is in sight, especially being the youngest team in the NFL. The Packers have got the Super Bowl in sight. So whether it's through the draft or again trading a draft pick, I think it's safe to say that the Packers are going to be doing something bold, something different. Leave your comments. Let me know what is that something you think the Packers are going to do. Are you leaning more heavily towards Gutekunst just relying on the draft, or are you thinking he's going to use some of his draft capital, 5 picks within the top 100, to go and get a veteran presence? Especially when we're talking about the defensive side of the ball, whether it's through safety, middle linebacker, edge rusher, you name it. Okay, so couple other things that were pretty interesting. Okay, so the Detroit Lions were at the scouting combine were said to have had the best draft class in 2023, which I found to be quite interesting. Of course, they applaud the Detroit Lions for doing a good job. Okay, I'm not taking anything away from them, but that is my least favorite team in the NFL is the Detroit Lions. So when I hear something like that, especially a division rival like the Detroit Lions, there in the NFC North, they drafted just as well as we did this past season. So it's going to be interesting to see. Time is going to tell. I mean, yes, they've got guys, the big names there were Gibbs and Laporta and Branch, guys like that are game changers for the Detroit Lions. But it's going to be interesting to see, the Packers also drafted equally as good, if not better, I feel, last year. It'll be interesting to see where the Packers go. I think the Lions have 4 picks in the top 100. Packers have 5 in the top 100. So it'll be interesting to see what both teams do in this year's draft, especially when we start talking about the NFC North, which I feel is the most talented division in all of football. I don't even think it's an argument when we start talking this upcoming year. Also to note within the division, Justin Fields, he, when slated as to what he can command out on the open market for the Chicago Bears, interestingly enough, Justin Fields is only worth a second or third round pick at best. That is what the experts are saying, and that's when they've dabbled as to what his open market value is. He's worth a second or third round pick, which I think it's humorous that a lot of Chicago Bears fans out there are saying that they think Justin Fields is the guy. Justin Fields is that quarterback. It seems like they just keep saying, but this year, just give him another year, which I think is comical. Okay. I hope the Chicago Bears continue to self-implode. I hope that they overlook some quarterbacks in this year's draft. I hope that they think Justin Fields is their guy, because he is not. He is not their guy for the future, although this is a very well-constructed uh, Chicago Bears team, and this could be very dangerous if they do the right things. If they do the right things, this could be a very dangerous Chicago Bears team. Still, we own them, and I'm not scared about the Bears. That being said, guys, leave your comments. Let me know which direction you think Brian Gutekunst is going to go. Is he going to trade? Use some of his draft capital and trade to get that veteran presence on the team, or is he just going to look within the draft to get that stud player, that difference maker, like you talked about? Go Pack, go.